Hi everyone, and welcome to our new podcast today. We have the chance to host Marem with us. I'm very happy to welcome you, Marem, today on this podcast. We talk about blockchain, of course, and we feature women active in blockchain. I'm very happy because I know you since quite a few years now. We have met since our beginnings, and it's very nice to see that you still strive in the industry after those years, and that we meet again to talk about where we stand, each of us, and what are you developing now as services in this ecosystem. So I would like to give you the mic now and ask you to introduce yourself and tell us what are you doing in the industry.
No problem. I'm sorry. Apologizing for the voice because I'm a bit ill, so I might lose it sometime, but that's fine. I'm also happy to see you. Yes, we started Plus Mean at the same time, I guess. I started my company in 2022. And the point of this company was to help individuals, so normal people that made a lot of crypto money, so became crypto millionaire, to help them cash out that money within the banks. Because maybe you know, today problem is that the banks are really scared of crypto. So when they see crypto without even knowing what's behind it, how the person got it, they refuse it automatically. So that is my fight every day because I think it's not fair for these people. They didn't ask for anything like this. They just made the investment, and at the end they come and they cannot cash out. So basically, that's what I'm doing. And so that you understand why I'm doing this, it's because my background is compliance. So people in the banks that are refusing clients are within this department. It's not the bank itself that refuses, it's the compliance department. Because compliance people, what they need to do, it's to check that the origin of the funds is licit. So it's not from money laundering, and it's not to the destination of financing of terrorism and any other illicit activity. So basically, what I'm helping them with is to prove that the origin of the funds is clean, so that they can accept the funds with ease and with peace, of course.
That's very interesting. And really like the fact that you were in compliance before, but you were in compliance before in like Web 2, if I could say, like in a normal environment. And then you decided to move to blockchain industry, right?
Yes, it doesn't exist in a crypto compliance yet. So I was the first one in the market
Right.
because only classic compliance exists, basically. And that's why the need for crypto compliance was really strong, because these compliance officers, what are their background? They jurists, so from law sector or economical sector. And basically, these people know only fiat compliance, so
Mm.
classic money compliance. They don't know anything about crypto. It's a new phenomenon. These are the new technology that they cannot understand. And so I moved to that field automatically because I knew that there was nothing and someone had to do something about this.
And how do you educate yourself on this new compliance from crypto world?
I had to specialize myself in more analytical way. So, like I said, the background is more legal, economic, etc. But what the banks need, and I think in the future that will move in that way, that they will need people that understand also analytics, blockchain analytics. You have a lot of tools available, but these are costly. You need to understand how to retrace funds within these tools. So you need that experience, and you need a lot of time of experience in that field as well. So I have the understanding of this. I can do that, but I hired people that have years experience in that field. These people are not from Belgium, because in Belgium it's something totally new. These people come from countries like Luxembourg, France, where it's already more innovative, of course, and they have already experience in that field. So I hired these people. I learned myself as well, but I when it's huge and difficult investigation, I give it to my team so that I'm sure that the result is really perfect for the bank.
So you make the bridge between the bank and the clients, helping the client to cash out their funds through the banks. And when you speak with the banks, so you represent the clients, kind of, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes, it
So
is. Yeah.
the client has the choice. He can represent himself with my report, or he can give me the mandate so that
Yes.
I go to the banks and I represent the case.
And so you also, I believe that you build a network of compliance people in the banks that can help people to cash out, right? Because you already built the expertise with them by sharing your expertise. So do you also help with, is this also one of your added value is to have that network of people in the banks?
I have a huge network within the banks in normal way as well, not only within
Okay.
crypto, because I moved a lot in within different industries and I work with really smart people. And because of that, I created a huge network in that field. The thing is that you need to understand is that compliance department is an independent department. So
Okay.
they cannot be influenced even by network or relationship. But what I created is the reputation of my work, which is I only present them reports that I'm sure about. So it's really important for me to keep that reputation. So I will never fight for my client if I see, and it's objective, huh? I see in the report that it's illicit. So basically, no, it doesn't help in the way that it's not because we're friends or I know them and they know me that helps me out. But what helps me out that they know that when I present a case, it's always clean. So
Okay.
the files that they get are clean.
And how do you define your list of criteria that you submit your report to the banks?
I always, when I submit a contract to my client, there's always written that I will do a pre-analysis where I can see directly if there's some illicit activities. And based on that, I tell to the client if I see that I see illicit activities, and that's not even the criteria that I invented. These are the criteria from GAFI, from IML in general, compliance, but that normal compliance people cannot see because they don't have the tools or the knowledge.
Mhm.
But I can see that's traceable. That's why we will also go back, I think, to the question that's super important that banks think that crypto is opaque and that we don't
Yeah,
see
no, it's
anything. And
transparent.
yeah,
It's
it's super
public.
transparent.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's public
exactly.
blockchain. Like,
And to give the parallel with the finance, classic finance, for example, what can happen? I work for private banks. I see someone that comes to me and says, "Okay, I will send you 400,000 euros," and of course, my job as compliance officer is where did this money come from? And they tell me, "Ah, I sold my house." Okay, send me the document. He sends me a normal notary document. I see, yes, he sold his house for 500,000 in 2017. He comes to me in 2020. It makes sense. So I can approve that money.
mhm,
Okay. So you already can see the two elements that I use are what client says, second, official documents.
mhm,
But since the banks are not communicating with each other, the person can do the same with other bank. He can come
mhm,
to another bank, put again 400,000 euros and say, the origin of the funds come from this. And then he does this several times. And since there's no communication, what do? You don't even know if it's clean.
true.
While in within crypto, the client comes to me and he says, I had this case recently. The clients come to me and he says, "Oh, I only did holding about bitcoins and left them. I didn't do anything strange." So first interview, which is important, I do that so that I can see the difference and corroborate if he's honest or no. He tell me all his story, and then I go in the tool and I investigate and I see total different. So then I see gambling, dark web, blah, blah, blah. So it doesn't make sense. And he cannot even lie to me because I see that. So
Yeah,
that's the difference. It's super
but it's
transparent. And the
impressive
bank,
because when you tell the story, people don't realize that all what they do is public. It's
yeah,
strange, no?
yeah, but because they have, it's like before it existed, the gift cards. You can buy
Yeah,
gift cards even today. Zara, you buy a gift card for
yes,
100 euro. In the beginning, when it was created, it was also tackled by compliance. Oh, we don't know where money comes from. You can pay with the cash and use it, blah blah blah. So the banks didn't accept these cards. Today, of course, they do because they have the technology, the understanding behind the system to tackle that. But crypto is the same thing. It's new, so they don't know that it can be traceable. And the clients, the bad clients, I would say that are not my clients, but I mean bad people. Of course, they know it's traceable, but they know also that the banks don't have that technology. They don't
yeah,
have the knowledge, and
yeah,
that's why the banks protect themselves by just
yeah,
refusing, which is a good thing to do because if you cannot identify the risk and prove that the risk is mitigated, you cannot accept. It's normal way to behave. So that's why, yeah, it's traceable, but it's not done yet by banks for the
yes.
moment.
And then you, as an intermediary, you analyze those traces, like to make sure that it's not illicit. But are you using tools? Like, what is your way to define that a client is good to be helped or not? And what is your process?
Yeah, so I'm using the tools, of course, the same that are used by FBI, for example, for the huge scams, etc. So today, and the banks, again, they are not aware of this, but you have a really good tools, the best ones on the market. Why these are the best? Technology is always plus mean the same, but these are the best because they have the biggest database. So
Okay.
they can, when you put the wallet address and use
Yes.
your trace, it
Yes.
will identify everything that's identified. So
Okay.
you will see the entities. Ah, that's dark web because someday one investigator through the investigation saw that it was dark web. So it will identify that address with this red flag.
Okay.
So these tools exist. I have them and I mix within different ones because some are really good for investigation and
Mm-hmm.
graphs. The other are best for audit of platforms. That's also important. What platforms did you use? The one that's really far away and doesn't
Mm-hmm.
have KYC system, or
Yes.
the one that's here and has the license, for example.
Yes. And have you seen cases where the client were not doing anything illicit, but still the bank didn't want to cash out the client funds? Did
All
it
the
happen?
clients, all the clients that come to me, it's the first thing they say. They refused. Why?
Ah,
Because they don't know, which is normal because they have the total opacity. They are
yes,
blind for everything that happened on blockchain.
yes.
But what also happens sometimes is that it's never 100% perfect. You can sometimes see 2% of the mixer, 2% of dark web,
Mm-hmm.
and people will say, okay, now we have dark web. Oh, it's a bad guy. But no, you need to understand what's the percentage of all the money that went through dark web. Maybe it's just indirect exposure. It's not direct
Yeah,
linked to his wallet. It's indirectly because he didn't know where the money came from. It came from dark web at some point, but didn't know. He bought it from someone. So you need also what we need to do here is also interpret the results, which is
yeah,
super important. That's why we need expertise,
yeah,
years of expertise from my team, for example. It's because we need to explain to the banks, okay, yes, we have mixer, but in what year what it was done? It was done years before it was diabolized. Years
mm-hmm.
before we said, mixer is bad. And why? Why the mixer was created in the beginning? It's for the people that are super parano, like today, people that are using VPNs, for example,
Yes,
to hide everything. For those kind of people, because they were afraid that the crypto was stolen, so they said, okay, maybe if I put my cryptos through the mixer, it will hide my identity and I will be safe. So you
mm-hmm.
also need to recontextualize when
Yes,
it was done. Why?
mm-hmm. Yeah, to
Ta-
understand the intention because
Yeah,
it doesn't mean that it's a bad intention. It's maybe protection, right?
exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So depending, yeah, you need to understand that. And this is also, I believe, something you do. You don't only analyze the transaction, but you try to understand the person intention with that money and like to be able to defend it properly, right?
Exactly, and also that's why I do a lot of interviews with the client as well. Explain me
Yeah.
this, explain me that. But also, in any case, I cannot submit a report to a bank without explaining. So that's one of the challenge, for example, in my work is that since the banks don't know anything about crypto, I need to do a lot of pedagogy as well. I need to
Yeah.
explain every word. When they did something strange, I need to explain that's normal. It's one of the products that was created, etc. So there's a lot of pedagogy to do. So in any case, I will never be able to just retrace and do that simple report
Yeah.
and give to the bank. It's impossible. I need to create the short story about
And
around it.
now, when you're explaining that, I'm wondering, like, how long does it take? Like, when you first enter your report, okay, you have the preparation of your report, so all the job to be done with the client. But then once you start to get in touch with the bank to see how we will cash out the client's funds, like, how long can this take? Is it like do you have an average time or is every case different or
But if we don't talk about the vacation, etc. not December period. I know that I say to the client, so just wait. But in a normal way, it depends on the compliance officers that are in the bank at the moment. If they're
Okay.
super risk averse, they are afraid of any risk, they will ask you a lot of questions. And so the ping pong between the questions and you will take some time. If you're lucky, and at the moment that your file was received was done by the compliance officer that have a bit of knowledge and bit of open of the mind, it might have ask only 2 or 3 specific questions, and then it's done. It might take a week, it might take a month. It depends of the questions. But I'm still happy when I have the interaction with the bank because it means at least that they're considering to accept the
Yes.
case.
Yeah.
It's better than they say no without explaining. So I prefer to get the questions and that we can answer the question than to just get the no and then you need to switch off the bank.
Okay, this is what I wanted to ask. Do you have sometimes to knock on different doors to be able like to open one, but maybe the not the first one and one later? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
sometimes I need to do, and the problem is that my clients are really loyal to their banks. They have like the account
Yeah.
since they birth, and they want to stay in that bank even though the bank says no. So that's a bit of challenge because I need to explain them. Don't take it personally. It's just that it's their politics today.
Yeah.
Maybe tomorrow they will change.
Yeah.
So sometimes I need to switch off the banks, but it depending also of the amount. If it's like millions, then I might consider to go to the private bank, for example, that
Yeah.
are more open-minded because they invest in the tools, they invest in the knowledge, and of course they understand the plus-value of to
Yes.
get the client with a
Yeah.
with that kind of portfolio.
Indeed. And
So
do you
sometimes I need to change. Yeah. Mm.
and do you consider also other banks outside of Belgium, or it's only based in Belgium?
I try to explain to the clients to avoid that, to go outside of the
Ah,
Belgium.
okay.
What they do, sometimes they really need cash really quickly because they need to buy a house or whatsoever, and they go to Switzerland, etc. But what happens in the head of a compliance officer? They will see that for no reason you went outside of Belgium. For them,
Mm-hmm.
it's for no reason. Of course,
Yes.
you have a good reason. You refused. So
Yeah.
for no reason, you went to Switzerland. Switzerland, it's like it's between red and green. Huh? It's not
Yeah.
considered to be a super not anonymous country, etc. So that create an opacity. So then I need to explain crypto, and plus I need to explain why someone that didn't have a company in Switzerland, no parents, no family, at some point he creates an account in Switzerland. So I tried to tell them, no, try in Belgium. And that way, also in that way, I will get my goal to
Yeah.
democratize that in Belgium. I want it to be here local because these people want to stay in Belgium. So to avoid also the repatriation, because okay, they get the fiat in Switzerland, but then the new question, your money comes from Switzerland. Where did it come from? So you get the same problem because you
Yeah.
need to explain that it comes from crypto. So at the end, you did that not for nothing. Yes, you could use your money, but you created an opacity, one step plus
Yeah.
one step that will create a difficulty.
Yeah. Yeah. Indeed, it's crazy. I had
Yeah.
another question in mind, but now I lost it. I was thinking,
If you want,
yes, no, I know.
yeah,
Because you're talking about the relationship with the banks, and since we have been in the space since a few years now, I was wondering if you see an evolution, like minds opening or like discussion being like different now. Also with Mika, maybe people like
yeah,
getting realizing that it will be here, it will stay, and that we will have to handle them in one way. Um,
yeah.
how do you see that?
I don't see the evolution in the beginning because the beginning it's when the client doesn't come to me. It's when he get what he wants without coming to me.
Mhm.
So I still see people coming to me, which means that bank are refusing. And I often ask, why did they refuse? They gave me strange reasons. For example, one of the strangest reason to me is that they want the clients be one client before trying to cash out.
Okay.
Second, to made the investment in fiat to crypto from that bank. So if
Ah,
someone used another bank to invest, you're already out of the scope. Why? It doesn't make any sense. If you
yeah,
can prove the origin of the funds, it's okay. So for a lot of strange to me reasons, they're refusing at the first step. But I see the evolution when I present the reports because since we don't have a lot of banks here, huh? So they receive my reports and they already know the work and they already know what they will receive. So there you have the evolution because they at least open to see and to have the discussion.
Yeah, that's very good. But it's good to know that it's evolving, but that there are still like stops that doesn't help like the clients to get their funds out. Do you have any tips that you would like to share with the people listening to us about what you're doing and how what can help them?
Yeah,
Like
the
maybe
one
to
of my tips.
prepare also before coming to you or
Yeah, one of the most important tip advice it would be to keep all the CSVs of the platforms, for example, you use, because some of the platforms are enfin, they can do fight. I don't know how we say that, but
yeah,
they can disappear. They can
yeah.
disappear, and then you don't have the traceability of what happened on the platform. I can still see that platform that you interacted with on my tool, but what happened within the platform, you cannot see that. And that will create the problem, not even for compliance as such, but for the taxation, for example, because
Okay.
you need to calculate the plus-value.
Yeah.
So you need this CSV. So for me, one is keep all your CSV. Second, if you're doing something strange, so you're not a classical investor, you're not just holding, investing in a crypto platform, but you're also into DeFi, smart contracts, you do a lot of stuff. Then write it down. Write it down. What are you doing? If you're interacting with normal persons, like private person, also write it down. Because a lot, what's super particular within a crypto field is that it's a community. So people trust each other. Even to send the crypto, I saw a lot of clients that just send one Bitcoin because someone was nice in a forum.
Okay.
And they get yeah, so things like this, but then it creates a complexity for me because I need to why did you give your Bitcoin to him, or why did you receive that Bitcoin, and who is that guy, because he's anonymous, so I cannot see that on the tool because it's a anonymous platform wallet. But I can see that that wallet did strange transaction, him, not you. But why didn't you ask who that was? I don't have his identity. So for that
It looks
kind
like
of
you're
stuff,
having fun, huh, while doing your job.
yeah, I really like it because you can see everything and like just write it down, ask questions before doing something. And also for tax, because also compliance, that's good. But if I go to the bank and I tell him everything looks clean, huh? He didn't do blanchiment d'argent, anything like this, money laundering, etc. But did you pay your taxes? Because if you don't pay your taxes, that money that you didn't pay for, so that money is already black. So you need you understand. So that money, it's not clear because you're using it while you should use it to pay your taxes.
Yeah.
And today in Belgium, it's a bit difficult. The law is a bit flu, vague. But what they need to understand, and that's one of the tip I would tell to people, is that in Belgium we need to declare the income every year. It's not like in France. People often think that it's like in France that only when you cash out you need to pay a percentage on the money that you cash out. And
Mhm.
until then, you don't do anything. In Belgium, you need to declare. So just keep in mind that. So two things. First, is history. Keep all the history CSVs. Second, keep in mind that you need to declare your taxes.
Mhm. But you mean declare your taxes when you are on decentralized application? You would declare as well?
You need to declare,
Yeah.
but you have tools, huh? Like Walsio in Belgium. It's a new
Yeah.
Walsio that you can put all
Yeah.
your CSVs. It calculates, and then you can even report this automatically. You
Ah,
have
okay.
things like this, but you need to be careful because they do a lot of mistakes because they sometimes they cannot find a transaction within the blockchain. Blah blah blah. We have people that can retrace some stuff that we don't see, put them in the file. But yes, you need to declare all the plus-value. So you bought a Bitcoin for that amount of money, you sold it for that, it's a plus-value.
But when
So
you sold it, not before. If you still
no,
hold,
if at the end of the year
no,
you have
yes,
a plus-value,
yes,
it's
yeah. If you make an added value, right? If you make a profit,
yeah.
but not if you
Mhm.
didn't sell it yet. If you still hold, it's okay.
No, because you have that netted value and you need to pay.
Because that was a conversation we had, like they had, the legal
Yeah,
people at
yeah.
an event in Belgium, and
Hmm.
they were not agreeing between themselves. Like,
Yeah,
because if it's when you cash out or not, when you transfer from crypto to fiat, so it
yeah.
wasn't like very. agreed between them. So
Yeah.
it was, yeah, it's still not clear. Yeah.
It's yeah, it's that's why I said it's not clear because there's no
Mm.
super good
Yeah.
director about that. And we have two movements. One that says it's like in France, only when you
Yeah.
cash out, and the
Yeah.
second that I believe in because it's more supported by the tax administration
Yeah.
with some of the text is that it's every year that you need to declare,
Yeah.
which is more difficult, of course, and it's more
Yeah.
heavy to do. But
Yeah.
I believe more in that because in
It
my
makes sense.
from what I said, it makes sense. It makes more sense.
Yeah.
And from what it was said, it's that I will go more like this. There's nothing that said there's no document that is pushing more into like French tax system. I didn't see anything like this.
Yeah.
But if you take a normal, even if you transpose a normal tax system for your plus-value for action, shares, etc., I would imagine it would be the same for crypto.
Mm-hmm. I see what you mean.
But that's yes, it's an opinion, but I think it's more popular opinion, the second one, which is more
Yeah.
difficult, of course, for the clients.
It's something, yeah, I'm always trying to learn and to see what are the advices that are being given by the experts in the field, because it's true that it's quite challenging to follow and to understand, since it's an
Yeah,
ecosystem that is a bit different of the traditional one. So
yeah,
it needs to be careful with how you handle your assets.
exactly.
And now, just to go towards the end of this nice podcast that we exchanged, I would like to ask you, what are your plans for the future? Like, how do you see your company? How do you see the ecosystem? How do you want to see yourself in the ecosystem? Let us
Yeah.
dream.
Yeah, of course. But to me, I would like, again, for fairness, to switch the responsibility of proving the origin of the funds
Mhm.
from the people that are normal people that didn't ask for anything to the banks. And I think that it will move in that way because of all the regulation. Because now banks will see, okay, it's something that's taken seriously. It's a reality that's also now in the law. So it will be they want or not, it will be democratized,
Yes.
and the bank will need to be more specialized. They will need to hire a new kind of people, not only law people or economists, but more cybersecurity backgrounds, for example,
Mhm.
policy inspectors, etc. Because it's a new specialization. So the banks will need to evolve in that field, and we need to really push the responsibility of the person to the banks. And for me, that's the future. And what's my belief in my company is that also it will evolve with that. And at the end, I would like help banks and not particular by helping them, supporting them with my consultants to do that job
Mhm.
and not do that anymore for the normal people. That
Sure.
voilà.
I like
So
the vision.
that's my belief.
Yeah, 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 quite interesting. I had like a quick question that came in mind, like
Yeah.
since you have been active in the field since a few years, I was wondering like how big was the increase of your clients? Like, do you see like really more people getting into crypto than before? How do you see that evolution?
I see the evolution always linked to the market. When the
Ah,
price
okay,
is up, they come to us. When the
okay,
price is low, they don't come. So they follow when they need to sell. So these are people. You have two kind of people. One that are really absolutists. They want the crypto. They don't. They bought it when Bitcoin was €5. They saw it to be 70,000.
yeah,
They still didn't want to sell it because they believe in that. But when life is becoming difficult, they lose their job or whatsoever, then they can come to me. And you have others that are really trading a lot, and they come to me when the market is really interesting for them. They want to cash out at that moment. So
okay.
it always depends of the situation.
But do you see like in the number of requests, like an increase, like more people
Yeah,
like using
yeah. There's
based finance?
yeah that are using crypto.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And then because yeah, and then cashing out because there are more people
yeah.
using and more people cashing out. But do you see like a rising trend, or if it's always the same people? You see what I mean?
No, no, no. I see the rising fund. It's always different people from different kind of. I cannot even for my marketing, for example,
Yeah.
to choose my cible. I cannot even
Okay.
do that because with different kind of people, but you have more and more people that understand crypto, that when I talk with them that invest, I have that really, really a lot. Also the people that are scammed, of course, because when it comes
Yeah.
becomes popular, there are people that don't know, but they want to be in and buy something that they shouldn't be buying. I see an increase. I see an increase within clients because these clients always existed, but they didn't know that I existed
Yes.
because I didn't exist before. And so once they know that you exist, they come to you at the end because they know now finally I can get help because they didn't even know what's blocking. They don't know that the word
Yeah.
compliance. They see bank is blocking because bank is in competition with the crypto. No, it's compliance that is blocking because compliance doesn't know the origin of the funds. And so once that's why my name of my company is Crypto Compliance, so that they understand compliance is blocking you, but I'm doing crypto compliance, so I can specifically answer your question. So that way, because I exist and I'm visible, now I have more clients, of course, that already existed.
Thank you very much, Marem. That was very interesting podcast, and I'm very grateful that we could make it today together. If people would like to reach you, what's the best way?
They can reach me with my website directly because I have the contact. They can even book a meeting with me. That's totally free. It's linked to my agenda, so they can do that easily. There's no
Okay.
problem. Otherwise, LinkedIn, a direct approach is always welcome with me.
Okay. Great. Thank you. Thank you very much for today. And I hope you enjoyed, everyone. Let us know your comments in the podcast. Thank you. Bye.